Alright guys, we're back. Thanks for watching that commercial break. Big shout out to Randy McDandy for not just having a fun name to say, but also for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you kindly. We are on the Korean server for this game because it is going to be TAiLS versus Billowy. They're both from Korea, so might as well make them play with little to no latency at least. But the winner will have to go back to Europe to play against Namshar, and Namshar's ZVP is looking pretty good. I'm actually worried for these guys.
Yes. I would say that Rail, unfortunately, was unable to show us exactly what Namshar's EDP truly looks like, but yes, he did 2-0 pretty easily. TAiLS, speaking of people that are looking good recently, won last week's Corsair Cup, and it was because he won, I'm pretty sure, 2 versus Protosses and 1 versus Terran.
I'm wondering, it sounds like he played versus Billowy. For some reason that sounds right in my brain, but I don't remember for sure. I'm gonna go look that up real quick.
Yeah, alrighty then.
Because I know he played Super at some point.
No kidding? Okay, they're both
I
ready
guess
to
it
go.
wasn't last week, so it was the week before.
Alright, then the week before.
Yeah, he played versus Super, and it
Hey,
was Super who beat Billowy. So these two have not played before.
Oh, okay, cool.
At least not in terms of like the context of what we're discussing. I'm sure they played before. Like, don't get me wrong here, guys.
Okay, they won't.
First Rifkin was a disembodied head, then he's a disembodied voice. What's next? Uh-oh. You guys are right. Alright, so we're on the Korean server. You can see some barcode action, but keep in mind the barcode is in fact Billy. We'll do the proper introductions in a second, but this is the semifinals for the Corsair Cup number 40. 40 weeks of StarCraft that the Corsair Cup has been invested in. So guys, do us a favor, please. When we ask you to click those links, it's not just because we want you to check out Corsair's awesome gear, but it lets them know that there's enough people still visiting their site, still getting the advertisement return on their investment from the Corsair Cups. So make sure to click all the links down below, and especially if you're looking for really good gear, I would highly recommend the headset, the wireless Corsair Void. Like 100 out of 100 for me went on the recommendation list. And that being said, getting into the game, in the middle, top left side, it's going to be the red Protoss TAiLS.
In the bottom right, as the blue Protoss, he is Billowy. I remembered. The last second I remembered. Thank you to Cacto for the 21-month resub. If loving base trade is wrong, I don't want to be right. It's very wrong. Very wrong and
Cactal, the Aerodactyl.
dirty. Is he?
I don't know any other words that rhyme with that off the top of my head, so I'm going to say yes.
Oh. Damn.
Uh-oh.
The fact that you aren't sure is really
Maybe he's been held captive, so he's the Cactal Aerodactyl that's been shackled. Holy mackerel.
That worked, right? That worked.
Close enough, whatever. You know, I could probably bust a rhyme once in a while. I do want to point out, though, that in terms of this, okay, yes, we saw TAiLS beat Super, which was impressive, because Super is, in my opinion, one of the best, or better, I should say, Korean Protosses that we get to see on the regular. But Billowy's also this guy who's really weird. Like, he's really flippy-floppy, but in terms of, like, one day he's, like, really good, and the other day you're like, I see why he was just, like, a B/C teamer. Like, I don't know how to really predict the series going, but we have definitively seen good PvP out of TAiLS. Super big thank yous to Demon Hunter 82 for that Prime sub.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Hold on. My bad.
It's so cold in this. I feel like I'm wearing nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Yeah. I just need
Can you just, like, spray paint yourself red?
You know what I could do is just green screen Flanders, like, butt wagon, like, in the background, put my head on top, because I am green screening just my head.
Would you get in trouble for that? I mean, like, it's not being naked, but it's a skin-tight suit.
Yeah, but it's also Flanders. If they're going to start banning for memes, I think there's a lot more people in danger than me.
No, I mean if you shook your butt.
Oh, well, you wouldn't see it because it's green screened, so there you go.
And if you painted it red.
Well, if I paint it red, then I'm ruining the suit. I'm not going to do that. Get some sort of baboon ass just for like a couple of giggles at a zombie grub. No, thank you.
Oh, it wouldn't be just a couple of giggles.
It'd be a good chortle to go with it, Rifkin, don't you know? And a guffaw, maybe.
I mean, I would actually pay you to do that. I think the chat would pay you a lot
I was
of
gonna say
money.
that's a weird thing to people pay money for sacks and other things that make sense. But like, hey Rifkin, I'd like for you to spray paint your ass red. Here's $50. Make it happen.
That's what you have to costume up as Ned Flanders. Come on now.
Okay, so the Adept didn't really work out for TAiLS to start, but he is ready to deal with the Stalkers. Sure, the counter. I think for Billowy, though, he's just making sure that there wasn't a gold base down that he had to match. It's not like it wasn't HOTS, but there is still that element of PvP where, like, maybe you don't plan to expand, but if you see that your opponent did, you kind of have to.
Yeah. I would say that most PvPs, if they even happen on Dasan, which of course doesn't happen very often, but they do not take the gold bases. But yeah, you're right. Like it would be something that you'd have to respond to in some way. You just scouted it. Unfortunately, at Dasan, you also can't really scout the back of the base unless you do commit the Adepts, which Billowy decided to do. So he sees that the Nexus is here. Did he see the? Yeah, he saw the Stargate. He ran right past it, in fact. So the Oracle should be responded to.
Yep, we'll see. I mean, the Mothership Core's right there. I like that he goes for the natural, but the Stalker's over here waiting, so doesn't get that much for it. 2 probes went down by the looks of it. Of course, we don't have mods on because things are broken, but that's whatevs. Quick note, though, in chat, shoot, I just lost it. Someone was talking about the Corsair Voids and an issue that I've had, actually, with them. DRK Boris says, I've had a problem with my Void headset. I will lose sound for a second, then after it comes back and there's a beep like the device is connected. Anyone run into that before? So I actually used to have problems with that when I first got them, and it was entirely a software update that fixed it. You may have to look into that, but I will say this isn't shilling out because this is all before we were sponsored by Corsair. The customer support has been fantastic for Corsair compared to I've had to deal with Razer, Logitech, all these other things, blah 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 blah. Corsair has been the best customer support without a doubt. So if you still have problems after a software update, man, just contact their customer support. They'll help you out.
Yep. So the second only to Blizzard.
Yeah. Well, I'm jaded with Blizzard.
Really?
The
I
amount
have
of-
nothing but very good experiences with them.
The amount of GM tickets I've had unanswered or poorly answered in World of Warcraft has made me very jaded about their customer support.
Oh, really? I never had much reason to send a bunch of GM tickets.
We had
occasionally I
a
would get
massive
stuck.
issue this weekend, actually. So for those who don't know,
Really?
World of Warcraft, if you raid, there's 3 tiers, normal, heroic, and mythic, mythic being the hardest. And you're supposed to get 880 gear from that, right? You don't need to know anything other than that number. But we killed mythic this weekend and got 850 gear, which is not possible. We submitted 7 different tickets from 7 different people. The first 6 GMs that replied said it's not possible to fix this. Our apologies, you just got to deal with it. The 7th guy picked it up and said, oh no, this will take 2 seconds, I'll fix it real quick for you. So, again, very jaded with Blizzard customer support.
Well, I've had nothing but pleasant experiences, and they talk to me after and ask how my day is going, and they usually also provide some, like, funny
Role-playing.
quote. Yeah, role-playing, yeah, a couple of them role-play if you're asking World of Warcraft.
I got a couple of resubs to catch up on real quick here because the game's still going a bit slow. But we do have some things heating up with the gold base, maybe changing up soon. But not Dumb Inch for 11 months. Says I'm too just a head in a jar. But then also Rubberman99 with that edgy boy link, 35 months of subbing, but also 35 months of working with them to produce slippers that are so comfortable it's like colds on your feet.
I've heard about that.
I need to dig out that old Kane video and play that too. Oh my god, the weird shirtless one he had. I'm sure I've got that somewhere on my computer.
Maybe get his band, man.
Actually, it might
Please.
nowadays, just thinking on it. I don't know. It's supposed to be a silly thing. But anyways, point of it is, Enchi Boy Slippers, who'd have thunk it? They're like one of the first people we partnered with when it came to like trying to sell stuff. And I've not regretted a single day. My slippers are hella worn out. I should probably actually buy a new pair, to be honest.
Apollo loves them.
Just
He will play with them and he'll sleep on them. I don't understand it.
Nice
But anyway.
force field. Really nice force field. Catches one of the stalkers, but Blink does get most of them out alive.
Yep. This game has gone to, I would say, a pretty decently long in the mid game. I would be very surprised if it got to the late game.
What's interesting about this is I actually think TAiLS is in a much better spot for a couple of different reasons. One, he's going to have Archons out in that front line through these Templar and other various things, but the Phoenix are what really intrigued me, because if Billowy was doing what every single Protoss player does right now, go like Stalker Disruptor. We've actually seen a lot more instances lately where Phoenix is swooping in and picking them up have just been the best way to deal with them.
Would be interesting if TAiLS believed that there's going to be disruptors on the field, because, well, we know there aren't, but also that generally Protosses in Korea don't really like to play or strive to play towards disruptors. They'll take either a long time to get disruptors or simply will not do them at all.
Well, the Immortals are kind of left without anything in front of them. They don't have anything to guard them.
Well, the rest of the army is so out of position. I'm so surprised TAiLS let his Immortals get caught like that.
Yeah, his flank was just open straight up. The Phoenix is trying to lift some things up. Now they're out of juice. As TAiLS comes back home, he's not going to die to this push, but now he's down significantly in army supply. Billowy with 74 army supply, mostly in Stalkers. There's a bunch. If the Immortals were still alive, this would look a bit different, but he picked off the crucial units, those Immortals.
I would say that would even be like game over type damage, getting all those Immortals and really not losing much yourself, but TAiLS is still holding on. He went for a lot of Adepts. You know, eventually he went into Resonant Glaze and is batting on Adepts since then. But those are quickly
It's too many. 21 Stalkers to 5. I mean, the Adepts can certainly fight for a while, but...
Actually,
well
he worked in another, like, 7 right there, so that might be enough. And Billowy's just not gonna... He's gonna take this a little bit slower and realize that maybe you can't win right then and there. It's like, neither of them really have to. They're both on 3 bases.
Forceful catches another Stalker as he retreats away. We do have the Adepts transfer down south, and looks like he's going to use those for a counterattack, maybe? It's a bit bold trying to bluff this out, like, say, okay, you're too scared to push up the top of my ramp, the Adepts are now looking elsewhere. So as they walk on into the natural, they might kill all the probes. I don't know. Billy's going to try and get ahead with a 4th base while this goes on, so just a bit of a soft contain into the economic lead could work. But right now, the Adepts are completely going to get caught here unguarded, or unexpected. Kills all the probes. Oh my god.
Well, Billowy chooses to go in because of that, but of course he's going up a ramp against force fields, and even the Phoenixes are trying to help out a little bit. I think it was their own Stalker. I feel like he did, but anyway. Manages to be just enough, I think, with defensive advantage. Probes are being pulled now. The Adepts going into the main base of Billowy, but there's still 2 Immortals left over for Billowy on the attack, and a lot of Stalkers. There's Warp Prism. That's probably what the Phoenixes should have been doing this entire time, was trying to steal that Warp Prism.
You know what? That's a good point. Just run past the army and dive for it. Unfortunately, the Void Ray's not going to cut it. Link on top of that focuses it down real quick, and TAiLS, he's killed almost all the workers of his opponent. Is that enough?
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, Billy's going to have 4 Nexus to reproduce probes whenever this is done.
And look at this. The Adepts are starting to hold at home. So with a 47 probe lead, yeah, GG,
Whoa.
TAiLS is going to take the game.
Wow. Neato burrito.
That's
TAiLS,
actually
man.
really surprising. I thought Billowy was good. I thought he had that in the bag, man. He caught those 4 Immortals, and from that point on, I was like, good night, TAiLS.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. Yeah, he lost. I'm only a little surprised he tapped out when he did. I feel like he could have maybe tried to play a little bit longer, but he couldn't clean up the depths. So it was GG either way. And now it will be Billowy's map choice.
Are you okay to solo cast this one?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, I am actually not feeling so hot. I need some food.
I feel like super tired, and I don't know why.
I'm not tired. I actually feel the energy.
Is it a Halloween thing? Well, yeah, like I don't have any energy.
The downside of being tired too is like you can't fall asleep now, or you won't wake up properly for the Alima League, right? And then you're gonna be super screwed up.
Exactly. What? Now I can't make the damn lobby?
Is the Alima League our last cast, by the way, before BlizzCon?
Yep. Can you try making a lobby?
What map?
Frost. I'm trying to eat candy to give me a sugar rush. That'll fix everything.
Everything's loading up as a blank. Oh, there we go. No, there's a temporary problem with your request. Please try again. Is that the error?
You try to make it with the mod?
Yes.
So the mod will tell me that, but I try to create game just regularly. Now it tells me gateway file not found.
I am trying. No, I got it.
Maybe I should build additional pylons.
Ha 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 ha! Oh shit! I did the thing where I invited someone to my party. God, that's awkward. Here, I'm gonna make you host. Because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what buttons I'm pressing. Thank you to Haplo42 for the 9-month resub. Only Base Trade gets a real sub from me. Best content on Twitch. Dude, my man. Oh, you can't see me clapping. Stupid green screen.
My man.
Thank you to Wavekisa for the brand new Twitch Prime sub as well. That's really awesome. Thank you. Glad to have you join us. Of course, to all of our subscribers, whether you're a Twitch Prime sub or otherwise, all of our subscribers do get replay packs from a lot of the stuff we do, including the Corsair Cups. So be sure to check your inboxes a little bit later for that.
No. We're good.
Oakley dokley.
Oakley dokley.
But yeah, I'm really scared because we're at about 1,152 subs right now. That's awesome. But I'm also expecting a huge drop-off over the next 3 days because people won't be like automatically renewing those subs.
Well, what if we just go right on back up by people who are using their new Twitch Prime sub for us?
I'm gonna hope that's the case, but I'm cynical and you know that.
I do know that.
All right, well guys, I'm gonna leave this one to Zombie Up while I go take care of some stuff. So, camera is on you. Don't do anything swivelly, and I'll be back.
Okay. In the bottom left on Frost, he is down 1. It was his map choice. It is the teal Protoss Billowy. I can't do anything with the camera. In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, he is TAiLS. People asking where my costume is, and I just feel it's totally unfair. Alright. Last year, I was like, hey, we're gonna do costumes this year. You know, I even, was totally on board, not even forced into it. And I thought of a really cool costume, and I did it, and it was awesome, and I won the bet, or whatever we did. Oh, TAiLS is going for a Nexus first. Ooh, that's bold. Okay, then. But this year, we didn't plan anything. And Rifkin just decided that he wanted to do Halloween, which I'm not saying it's his fault, but I'm saying that it's unfair that you guys expect a costume from me. My costume is disappointment. Blunderful Guy has been saying it the entire time, and I agree. Disappointed in you guys. So the Nexus First on Frost isn't totally crazy. It would be the map that you would do a Nexus First in PvP. Unfortunately, Billowy gets a scout on this, which I think ideally you don't get a scout until the last base, or, you know, just not scout at all, but that's a little uncommon in PvP. So now, because he scouted it first, it kind of gives you more time to be like, well, do I want to punish this, or do I want to just try and match it, you know? Where if you scout it last, you might already be well underway into your build, getting your own Nexus, for instance, but really wanted to all-in them or something like that. And, I mean, he immediately sent his probe out, so TAiLS did not see that the probe scouted. Nexus doesn't have much vision when it's building. And this could be definitely to throw it on a proxy pylon. In fact, there we go. And this actually, I mean, it could be for a robo. I don't think that it is, though. I think it actually will just be for, especially because it's the mothership core. Yeah, I think it just might just be for slow warp-ins, but maybe even a third gateway we put down here. I mean, the light pressure that can turn into game over, that's the 2 stalkers produced, which is what Billowy's doing, plus a slow warp-in. And that can actually do a ton of damage or even win the game if they really don't respond to it correctly. But if he really wants to try and win the game, you know, just straight up try and surprise his opponent, there could have been a proxy gateway or proxy Stargate or something like that. Because of course TAiLS talked about Billowy scouting. TAiLS isn't scouted until just now. He sent a probe out. But his Nexus is already done, his pylon at the front's already done, his motion core was made here, so he can buy time with an overcharge. Doesn't really want to, though, because he knows that if these 2 stalkers are here and now, there's probably going to be 2 more. And, oh, by the way, here we go, Robo and a gateway. Really unfortunate that TAiLS gets the wrong scout because of this, by the way. But anyway, he realizes that something is up. He's like, okay, you know where I was for probably some time. I didn't see the probe scout. And I'm going to guess you're going to try and be aggressive and kill me. There's a possibility it's actually, you know, getting a Nexus behind this. It will be a later Nexus, and that probably will be the best move, but it's a true all-in here. Motion core cannot go down. In fact, she probably should not have overcharged. That little second where she stopped drifting and had to accelerate again probably cost that motion core her life. On the other hand, just getting a new one that's fresh and full of health, full of life, might be better off because she won't be able to be sniped at that crucial moment. And that was not quite yet the crucial moments. What's coming up might be, once that Immortal's out, you know, can you defend against that Immortal, or does it take away all your pylons? Thanks, guys. I do have a very creative costume. I'm so glad that so many of you are on board. Anyway, so that is the last overcharge from this militia port, which is brand new for quite some time. The probe is finally going to scout that there's nothing here and nothing there. And that, you know, is the problem. The Immortal comes in, gets the pylon right off the bat. Again, not even that big of a deal, though, it's no important overcharge. But the other Immortal, TAiLS Immortal, is really trying to get kill shots on Billowy's, and this might be okay for TAiLS, but here come the reinforcements. TAiLS has got to recognize there's a proxy gateway, by the way. To continue being aggressive like this, they're gonna have to actually have the gateway powering those fast weapons. But Billowy's Immortal is already here, and TAiLS, where is that Immortal from him? There it is. Needs to come out, needs to focus fire on top of those stalkers. Where did the partnership ever go? I think she went to the main base because a couple of adepts went in there. Yeah, that's where she went to, but did not poach an overcharge. That's pretty important to note. They got 9 workers, wow. But TAiLS still has more workers. Of course, he's been rebuilding them and had a lead to begin with. Now, Billowy can't really afford to do that same type of attack. He can't afford to get adept and try and send him across, because he has to kind of win the fight here. Which is not doing, by the way. The Immortal gets sniped by TAiLS, or by Billowy on TAiLS, and that's really nice for Billowy to do, and time will be desperate. But the Zealots are soaking up so much damage from the Immortal. The Stalkers still live, but does TAiLS have another warp in? He's pretty low on money. He's investing into an Immortal, which is very important. But he also rebuilt those probes. He's gonna lose Mothership 4 again because he got distracted by the Adepts. That was a far bigger deal than whatever probes are gonna be killed here. As that Mothership 4, I think, was at like 30, 40 energy, she would have had another frozen overcharge. This is still pretty close. There's a single Adept here that wanted to do greater things in life, but is just standing there now. Mothership 4 being rebuilt. I guess TAiLS hasn't been so desperate on the gas front, but that's still 100.5. Usually not an easy thing to afford. A lot of Zealots means that the Immortal, if it doesn't focus around these Stalkers, really isn't getting the best damage done. Where I believe TAiLS... Oh no, wait, TAiLS doing the same thing. TAiLS is hitting the depth Stalkers. Oh, Mothership 4! She's gonna just emergency just because she thought she's gonna die. Quotes an overcharge. Stop Billowy from advancing at the very least, but now, of course, he knows there won't be a follow-up one next time he gets the chance. Adept's back in the main base and try and get a couple of probes, but more importantly, distraction in the front. This definitely is Billowy's time to engage. Just nothing to stop him here. One potion overcharge probably could have killed this Immortal, by the way. Like, that's how big of a deal that would have been. And TAiLS has not been producing. Oh, there it is. There's Immortal for now, but it's too late. More Zealot and Warp to try and soak up that damage. But so many of his Stalkers have finally been chewed down. You know, those 4 Stalkers have been alive for quite some time. Back down to 1. The Zealots are getting shots on top of the Stalkers, however. Mothership 4 goes down. TAiLS still has money. There's the Warp-ins. He wants to focus on top of that Immortal. Stalkers want it. Oh, but they're gonna get it. Oh my god, they're not gonna get it. They're trying to get a Stalker instead, and there's barrier on it. Oh, damn. Oh, they got it anyway. Whew. But that might not be enough. TAiLS, he's gonna have to pull the probe. He should definitely have rebuilt his Mothership 4 by now, because he would have had at least one with overcharge. He's gonna tap out. That's game. I think Adepts. No, Adepts in the main base. But damn. TAiLS. Barely unable to hold.
Well,
that's gonna light up on 1.
Yep. We're also gonna have to restart the call because things started farting out a little bit towards the end, so we'll get that done in a second. The commercial break actually while we do that. So 2 minutes, guys, and we'll be back with game number 3. Alright, guys, we're back. Excuse me, as we swap to the in-game screen. I'm gonna do these intros, and I'll be a few more minutes. I'm almost done, but yeah, game 3. Winner goes on to fight against Namshar. If you haven't seen the brackets, exclamation mark brackets in chat will take you there. And see how the day's gone for each of these players and all the goodness. But let me set up the scores real quick.
All the goodness. Yep.
All right, Zombie Grub, take it away.
In the bottom left, as the blue Protoss, he is Billowy. And in the bottom right, as the red Protoss, he is TAiLS. Damn. Well, the last game was definitely one, I would say, and someone else says it in chat, and I would agree. I think it was won by Billowy because TAiLS had inferior micro. I mean, it wasn't like Billowy had absolutely perfect micro, I want to say. Although I can't think of a time where he drastically missed out an opportunity. But it was that TAiLS just had very obvious worse micro. He lost, what, 4 mothership cores, I want to say? Maybe 5? I'm not sure, but it was definitely more than was necessary, because once or twice you can argue that a fresh mothership core, if you can afford it, is better than one that is already like damaged and doesn't have an energy, and that's a fine argument to make. But the third and fourth one, probably not the same deal. The second one, probably even not the same deal. Thank you to Finalius for the 28-month resub and Erad for the Twitch Prime sub. Woo! But yeah, that was just too many mothership cores to lose. And that last one, the one that shouldn't have overcharge, shouldn't have had to feel like she had to overcharge, probably could have even saved the game, because that really was coming down to just like the last couple of units. And when it's only 4 units, a potent overcharge is absolutely huge. You know, 4 units can't kill the pylon fast enough, especially if the Immortal's not there, which it wasn't. So that was definitely micro mistakes. As you know, other ones like the mothership core, there was a couple of times where the Stalkers definitely could have focus fired better, or he pushed way far out, you know, and probably should just kept by his Nexus. But I'm thinking that one Adept, that was the equivalent of being right here on the map, that could have done something. That could have at least forced one warp in on Billowy's side of the map, but instead it was just a useless unit not helping. So there's just a lot of things that went wrong there, but TAiLS might be looking for some revenge. A probe did go into an odd kind of scouting path, right? It's not really scouting at all, in fact. Where are you going? Hold on, I can find it. You guys have no idea what I'm doing with this. Okay, so it's going to the 3rd base after checking the natural. So I guess it is scouting, but it's taking such an odd path. Stalkers go through the middle of the map. TAiLS was thinking about bringing his mothership core and then realized maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Brings it back. Billy does go for a Nexus. Hello.
Hey, and I got the camera now too. Thank you for covering.
You're welcome.
But yeah, that was a bit of an odd scout. And like when you see stuff go all the way around the edge of the map like this, you're like being super extra cautious. Super question marks get raised, but ooh, Stalkers take a really nice start to this fight out of TAiLS, and Billowy, yeah, loses one already.
Well, TAiLS could decide, I suppose, to throw down a proxy pylon, but with the Nexus on the way, there wouldn't really be much of a purpose in that. Even if you did get the better start to the fight.
Well, 2 Adepts going to transfer through, but the overcharges should be able to catch him. This might get a couple of probe kills, but honestly shouldn't get too out of hand. Positioning actually dodges to the other side. Probes get pulled into the mess, and TAiLS does clean this up. Only a couple of probes die, but still 5 dead at the end of the day is still 5 dead. In a mirror matchup, every little bit counts.
Yeah, 6 probe difference is pretty big. TAiLS had a slightly faster Nexus, so he's like recovering that a little bit, but not even by that much.
Yeah,
TAiLS does have bigger army, however. He's gonna use it.
Well, he's gonna maybe put some pressure. I like the idea of doing at least some soft contain, a little bit of pressure to hurt your opponent's like income. You know, they're not just probing; they suddenly have to warp in an extra stalker or 2 here and there. I don't know. For TAiLS, if he doesn't dedicate to this is fine. But without proper high ground vision and with an overcharge ready to go, yeah, sticking around could be problems. Almost loses that first stalker fight. Does lose that stalker. I didn't even see what hit it. I guess it's the pylon, but a little bit scrappy and a little bit too dangerous for him.
Yeah, it was the pylon that really, you know, cemented Billowy's defense there, especially on this map. If it was Frozen Temple, you could say the micro would still be a-okay and he wouldn't have lost that stalker, but because you have to go up a ramp and you can't see above it, it's a little more difficult. So the game goes on, and now it's going to be about 3rd bases, or at least I thought it was. That is an awfully quick Templar Archives. My gosh.
And it gets scouted right away too. The observer sees it.
Yeah, that is interesting, because it's like, I'm not really sure what TAiLS is going to do with this. It is so quick that it feels like it's some type of Adept, you know, Archon all in, like you would see back in like 2014 PvZ or something like that, but there's no possible way that it could be. I mean, the Forge is on the way, so I don't think you could get too many Archons plus an upgrade. And it would just, it feels like it would hit pretty late, because it sells ready for Resident Glaives, but I'm not sure. Billowy will probably know more than me, being much better at this matchup than me, but it feels so quick.
I'm sitting here hoping and waiting to see Storm Research, because there's actually some Storm drop builds and Storm attacks that can work out rarely, but when they do, they work out magnificently. But it doesn't feel like that's the direction this is heading. We do have that Robo plop down for Billowy, though, and this is not a bad map for Disruptors. He's going to be bowling right down the center of the map, after all.
I would also say it's not a bad thing to have against what he knows TAiLS is doing. So the Temple Archive's timing has still got me, like, scratching my head a little bit. Like, is he going to attack with this? There's an extra gateway type deal. But I think you see Temple Archives like that, you got to know that they're not going for Blink. Because, like, Blink Archon isn't really a thing so much. It's Blink Disruptor or Blink with Immortals.
Yeah.
Not Blink and Archons. So I think he figures it's going to be Resonating Glaives. And the trick with Resonating Glaives is that technically it's actually really good. And I'll say technically, it's a good composition. But if you have Disruptors, okay, if you have like 4 Disruptors, it's not going to be that great looking a composition because they're all going to clump up and die. So yeah, I really don't know why TAiLS went for such Temple Archives. He got a 3rd base. He's now getting gateways. I mean, it's a tech that you eventually will get to. There's no arguing that for the most part. But why so quick?
You know, there's another aspect to it where, like, as well, if this had been a different tech direction, let's say like Stargate or something, you could justify that, right? Like the Phoenixes can lift up the Disruptors and all that goodness. There's no part of this that's good. The Archons will eventually bleed out to the shots from the Disruptors. They certainly can't get close enough. Storm won't do much. I mean, there's no necessity for feedback. There's just... And now he's going to Blink. It feels mismatched out of TAiLS, but that being said, he's far from dead just yet, and I'm not stressing over this for him just yet, as it will take Billowy a fair amount of time to get those going. Double Stargates actually come down now. That might just work out for him.
Yeah, that's pretty cool response. I mean, it's responses on top of responses here. The Disruptors would take out the Adepts and the Archons eventually. But if you get Phoenixes and lift up the Disruptors, seeing that dynamic, it works out pretty well for the person with the Phoenix. And, I guess it didn't really matter how quickly either of these guys got anything, to be honest, because they're both not really interested in attacking. Like, they both could have probably gotten the 3 bases at 5 minutes and been okay. This is like the first poke we're having past the first 2 Stalkers.
Well, the Stalker's looking to blink around and poke. It's not going to accomplish too much, but he will find a bit of an opening here in the natural. A couple probes here, maybe the pylon. He doesn't want to dedicate too deep, though. He's worried about getting caught from behind.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Well, I think Billowy, he got that really easy scout in the Temple Archives. Does he have a scout in the Stargates? Yes, he does, because there's an observer literally right there.
Yeah, he's been chilling for such a long time, so...
I feel like that shouldn't have been happening.
No. He actually only sees one of the Stargates, but I think you kind of know. Like, there's not a lot of, like, okay, throw in the one Stargate this late. Usually, anytime you throw in a Stargate this late, it's to make up for something. And in this case, it'll be the Phoenixes to pick up all those Disruptors. And I do really want to stress that if the Disruptors are removed from the equation, TAiLS' army actually looks better than Billowy's. But that being said, that's an if they're removed from the equation, because it's not going to be so easy to simply just swoop in and pick them up. They're going to get picked up by Stalkers, or maybe get caught by his own Phoenixes. I mean, for TAiLS, he doesn't actually have the greatest scouting. He's been doing hallucinating scouts here and there, but nothing like the Observer that's chilling right above his main.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Cannon's gonna kill that and get him caught off guard a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, but it scouted what it needed to. And that scout, I would say, that realization, like, oh wow, he doesn't even have that many Phoenixes quite yet, let's go, is what forced him to attack. Told him to attack. It's 4 Phoenixes, but that really isn't enough, and they're focus fired, so now only 3.
Well, the game gets drawn out a little bit longer, but the question for me really is, will TAiLS hold up this attack? Everything here says the tools are available, right? You're going to have the Phoenix in the sky to pick them up. You're going to have the Archons on the ground to deal the damage. Taking on Billowy's army shouldn't be so out of the question. But I think it's a very different fight when you're fighting defensively versus offensively. It has nothing to do with the warp ins, but it's everything to do with what's, going to get threatened. If TAiLS walks across the map, he can always disengage. But if he's fighting at home, it's do or die.
I'm a little surprised Billowy backed off from that. I guess he was really worried the Phoenixes, even though they looked low in number, maybe there's more of them behind, or maybe just eventually they would have picked up too many Disruptors. but he did disengage. Now going to re-engage. Yeah, nope. Realizing this might not be such a good idea. He did have a unit on the Zanaga, so I was surprised he's trying to go up that ramp. Their army supplies are very similar. Their army compositions are different. But we do have Archons now in Billowy's army. It's Disruptors versus Phoenix.
Yeah, I wonder how different this would be if Disruptors got blocked out with a shot by, say, force fields. Or I wonder if the Adept Transfer could block it out. That'd be cool. Maybe make a temporary wall of Adepts or something mid-transfer to block out the shots.
Okay, I guess he was waiting for the Disruptors to shoot their shots who were picking up, but...
they still hit, and unfortunately, most
awkward.
of TAiLS' front line dies. Billowy, I think, is just going to absolutely clean this up. The Phoenixes are not an issue. The Disruptors all land alive, and of course, yeah, more hits go off.
Game. Wow, TAiLS, that was pretty bad.
Well, so the only situation where it's not game is if Billowy's hesitant to counter, but he really should just go right away. I mean, he won that fight so badly. TAiLS loses it too. GG gets called. Billowy will take the series 2-1 and move on to the finals where he'll fight against Namshar in a best of 5.
What an ending. What a game.
Well, yeah, PvZ to finish this series and this tournament off today. Of course, thank you guys for joining us for the Halloween Spooktacular Corsair Cup. I don't know. I'm getting too ham with it now at this point. Oh, not America. Go to Europe. Oops. We'll see who wins. PvZ could certainly go in Namshar's favor. I'm really not exaggerating when I say I think I actually give him a slight edge here. But I think during the commercial break, I'm going to get changed out of this. I'm so fucking cold. Like, just, there's... you guys don't understand, so I'm gonna get changed while I do commercials, and we'll see you guys in a bit.